Welcome to whatever this is, where I play whatever the hell I can find in my Steam library that doesn't sound terrible to play. And I guess I record it now, because that gives it a larger sense of purpose than I had before. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, today we're playing the Stanley Parable. I played this for a few minutes yesterday, and that's about it. Let's go. I have watched a playthrough of this, but it was a long time ago.
This is the
Probably
story
10-ish
of a man
years.
named Stanley.
That's too loud for me.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, I'm happy for Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right. I would say just stay in here. You know, you're still on the clock, right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
When I played last night, I already got the Door 430 achievement. Alright. One reason I chose this game was because you can just use right click and hold it down to move forward. And when I was testing recording, my keyboard, I have a clicky keyboard, which I love, but it turns out it's not great for recording. So
When Stanley
this
came
game
to a
doesn't
set
need
of
keyboard.
two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Did I? Did he? Did we? We did, sure.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Two synergized, fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Right. This is typical business, I guess. Aw. We can just sit here and watch the slides for a while, right? What's that gonna hurt? What, it's boring? No, I disagree. This job would be right up my alley. You just sit and press buttons all day and you get paid and you go home and you don't have to think about it at home because you don't have your computer there.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Is that
no
so?
reason to still be here.
No, of course not.
was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact
doing
with,
something.
he'd be justified in some way.
What do you
As
mean
it
something
is,
to interact
he's literally
with?
just standing there doing sweet FA.
Looking at things is interacting with them. I'm looking at the tools on this tool shelf.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with being confused.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Okay,
I never would have thought to mention it.
I believe you. Do I? Do I believe you? Did I? Did I ruin it? Did I ruin the chain of him saying stuff?
This is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Okay, goodbye. I don't have any friends. Don't rub it in. Go away.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sure. Whatever you say. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Saj, that's a lovely purse. Say that's a lovely purse. Boss needs better handwriting. You're the boss. You're writing memos and writing out directions. People need to be able to read your handwriting.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
It's a nice office.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. Cool. That's a great passcode. There's no repeating numbers.
Stanley just
probably
sat
not a
around twiddling
birthday.
his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
28. I can't even leave. Great.
2845.
Dinosaur plates. Or birds. Ducks, I guess. I don't know. 1111.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door
Oh.
just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story.
Oh.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Great. Just didn't want to deal with my shit. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was
Did
a
he?
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, great. I love answers to my questions.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Did I? Did we? I'm tempted to just do it. Okay, well, we'll just do it. It's fine. No, I'm sure this is the right way. Why would the voice in my head lead me astray? Oop.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wow.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Sure. I don't think I have a choice. I doubt I can go back, so... Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee
Fired.
in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where am I? 427. There's me. Wow. Look at my empty-ass office. Just like everyone else's. Because we're all unique.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
What do they
Was
have?
this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Why do some of these employees have glowing green boxes of uranium on their desks? It's fine.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Oh,
happy
fine.
or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Wow. Well, what does it matter at this point? Everybody's disappeared. They're not being mind controlled now. Or maybe they are. Maybe that's why they disappeared. I'm gonna turn it on.
Oh, Stanley. You didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you
Yeah.
go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself?
No,
Is
I
that
just want
what
to
you
go back.
wanted?
I just want to go back to work, man. No, I turned it on so I could just go back to
Stanley,
work.
I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Wow.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
Well,
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
5.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm
What
in a good
now?
mood.
Still
You're gonna die
5?
anyway.
I don't
I'll
understand,
tell
I
you
guess.
exactly what happened to them.
I guess I don't
erased them.
understand.
I turned off the machine.
How
I
to
set
do
you
the puzzle.
free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink
I'm
into
supposed
the
to be good at
ground,
pushing buttons.
swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this
It's
so
fine.
much.
We'll see what happens
You know
when we
what?
die,
The
because
hell
I'm
with it.
stupid.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley.
Great,
Time
thanks.
doesn't grow on trees.
I...
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Maybe I'm not
Or
stupid.
did you
Maybe I'm
just
not
assume
supposed
when
to
you saw
know.
that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
Okay.
You're only still playing instead
That's
of watching
fair.
a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Oh, well.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Goodbye. Great. Okay, well, that's the perfect place to stop. Wow. That, good end? Question mark? Quick painless death equals good end. I mean, there's a lot of worse ways to end than that. Okay, goodbye.